Hey guys, Zikaga here, and I've been enjoying rereading these Hunter x Hunter chapters. I feel like this is one of the very few mangas in which I can read several times and gain something new each time I read it. Today I'm going to go over chapter 358, which is exactly after where Hisoka has his true main character moment, as he is the first person to introduce the concept of post-mortem Nen, where he uses bungee gum to defeat death. I knew King Hisoka wouldn't die. Never. But that fight with Crollo was so action-packed. It truly is one of the best manga fights I've ever witnessed. And on top of that, it felt like one big chess match. Very complicated, but it just goes to show you how intricate the concept of Nen can get. I loved every aspect of this match, and it made Hisoka seem much more talented at the use of Nen than almost anybody. It also showed how much of a critical thinker Crollo is when it comes to devising a plan for an opponent. He had a counter for everything. He took preparation to a whole new level, literally could go band for band with anyone in the story as long as he had prep time. I'm going to review all of the chapters all the way up until 410, which is the last chapter in this current iteration. And by the way, speaking of that, there's good news as chapter 411's manuscript is done and could come out any moment from now, which is freaking huge. Also, if y'all like me to go over any other chapters or concepts in the story, please let me know down below. I will willingly do that. And wow, look at this huge parade we're having for the exploration to the Dark Continent via the Black Whale ship. Woo! And we get to see our glorious king Nasabi, the one and only king of the Kakin Empire. We also get to see Beyond Netero, who, if you don't know, is Isaac Netero's long lost son, who is the general supervisor on this trip. And this dude is like freaking 8 feet tall. Bro's literally a monster. And then you have the 14 Kaki princes. And at the end of this expedition, someone will become the true heir of the kingdom, but we will get into that later. And of course, this king is a true narcissist, telling people that there has never been a king who has risked their own life to travel into uncharted territories. Look at this parade. It looks sensational. Feels like Times Square almost. We learned that the Black Well is separated by 5 floors, also known as tiers. The first layer is for the royal family, the V5, and politicians. The second floor is for the rich and famous, and anything below that is general population or general people. Each tier is guarded by the royal army, so maneuvering could definitely be difficult under martial law. And we learned that only tier 1 and tier 2 are hunting grounds. We are also learning this information from Prince Benjamin's top guy named Balsamilko. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Balsamico. Let's just call him Bal. And every prince has their own bodyguards. It is known that all princes will attend dinner parties every Sunday, but will enter and leave at different times so no prince passes each other in transit because, you know, they're all trying to kill each other. But the killing has to be done methodically because there are rules in place for this game of death. And oh, look at our red-eyed king, looking spiffy in that 2-piece. And we learned that their general rule is to avoid the succession battle. We also learned that the lower-ranking wives cannot call higher-ranking wives. This Kakin Prince's harem is pretty crazy, insane motion. And it's so interesting how everything on this ship is so heavily guarded and watched. But that's literally the beauty of Nen. It's so slick and smooth that it can do such a great job deceiving things without brute force. And Kurapika has every reason to be worried. In his faction alone, the guards really don't know Nen all that well since they got a provisional license to be on the ship. He just doesn't understand how so many people made it on the ship with little to no vetting. He doesn't like the fact that so many hunters came on the ship as well with their own motives. Maybe he's just a little paranoid that Saraynik is on the boat and that's got him thinking too much about everything. But he's absolutely right. And if you don't know much about Saraynik, all you have to know is that he has the red eyes of the Kurta family. So you know Kurapika has to meet him eventually. But there are just too many variables on this ship. It's inevitable that so many people will die in the upcoming chapters, and I love how we get to see how much of an overthinker Kurapika is, and it just goes to show you that his anxiety is his strongest strength. He's thinking of backup plans for backup plans. He's making sure that he's ready for anything that may come their way, and honestly, I love seeing him in this mode. And when you're leading a team of mediocrity, especially with little to no Nen capability, you're just gonna have to do more. And then we see him call Mazai. And boy, Mazai is fighting some demons. He's having to fix the cocky and sloppiness because the crime rates on tier 3 and tier 4 are on a different level. There's barely any doctors on the lower tiers, but about 20 doctors are on tier 1 and tier 2. Feels similar to real life. While tier 1 and tier 2 have everything, everybody else is neglected. Kurapika then informs Queen Obito about emergency routes in case a riot breaks out between the gates of tier 2 and tier 3. Learning how to use the blimp or lifeboat will be essential if anything goes down. Man, somebody needs to give Queen Obito a hug. She looks like she just saw a ghost. This info is scaring the lights out of her, but I do love seeing Kurapika in this mode. But I'm interested to see how he's going to level the playing ground with his use of Nen. And as the bodyguards are taking Queen Obito and the prince to their quarters, a crazy energy emits from Woble's cradle. Enough to scare the living shit out of Kurapika. And this is going to be very interesting. But that is the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed that quick little glimpse. It was honestly a pretty short chapter. I think the next one is pretty long, so we will have a lot more to cover. And thank you for watching this review. I hope to see you again when I review chapter 359 very soon. Alright, peace.